Alright, last video. This one's going to be parts 13 through 15, and all of them are fairly short. This has been kind of fun for me. I don't know about you. I guess if you're watching, you've enjoyed it. I don't expect a lot of people are watching. Oh well. Part 13. One morning, Karlsefni's people beheld, as it were, a glittering speak above the open space in front of them, and they shouted at it. It stirred itself, and it was a being of the race of men that have only one foot, and he came down quickly to where they lay. Thorvald, son of Erik the Red, sat at the tiller, and the one-footer shot him with an arrow in the lower abdomen. He drew out the arrow. Then said Thorvald, "Good land have we reached, and fat is it about the paunch." Then the one-footer leapt away again northwards. They chased after him and saw him occasionally, but it seemed that as if he would escape them. He disappeared at a certain creek, and they turned back. Then they turned back, and one man spake this ditty: "Our men chased, all true it is, a one-footer down the shore, but the wonderful man strove hard in the race. Hearken, Karlsefni." Then they journeyed away back again northwards, and saw, as they thought, the land of the one-footers. They wished, however, no longer to risk their company. They conjectured the mountains to be all one range, those, that is, which were at Hop, and those which they now discovered, also answering to one another, or almost answering to one another, and it was the same distance to them on both sides from Straumsforder. They journeyed back, and were in Straumsforder the third winter. Then fell the men greatly into backsliding. They who were wifeless pressed their claims in the hands of those who were married. Snorri, Karlsefni's son, was born the first autumn, and he was 3 winters old when they began their journey home. Now when they sailed from Vinland, they had a southern wind, and reached Markland, and found 5 Skralinger. 1 was bearded, 2 were women, 2 children. Karlsefni's people caught the children, but the others escaped, and sunk down into the earth. And they took the children with them, and taught them their speech, and they were baptized. The children called their mother Vetildi, and their father Uvegi. They said that kings ruled over the land of the Skralinger, one of whom was called Avaldaman, and the other Valadidida. They said also that there were no houses, and the people lived in caves or holes. They said, moreover, that there was a land on the other side, over against their land, and the people there were dressed in white garments, uttered loud cries, bare long poles, and wore fringes. This was supposed to be Havitramaland, white man's land. And then came they to Greenland, and remained with Erik the Red during the winter. Bjarni, Grimolf's son, and his men were carried into the Irish Ocean, and came into a part where the sea was infested by shipworms. They did not find out before the ship was eaten through under them, and they debated what plan they should follow. They had a ship's boat, which was smeared with tar, made of seal fat. It is said that the shipworm will not bore into wood which has been smeared with seal tar. The counsel and advice of most of the men was to ship into the boat as many men as it would hold. Now when that was tried, the boat held no more than half the men. Then Bjarni advised that it should be decided by the casting of lots, and not by the rank of the men, which of them should go into the boat. And inasmuch as every man there wished to go into the boat, though it could not hold all of them, therefore they accepted the plan to cast lots, who should leave the ship for the boat. And the lot so fell that Bjarni and nearly half the men with him were chosen for the boat. So then those left the ship and went into the boat, who had been chosen by lot to do so. And when the men were come into the boat, a young man, an Icelander, who had been a fellow traveller of Bjarni, said, "Dost thou intend, Bjarni, to separate thyself here from me?" "It must needs be so now," Bjarni answered. He replied, "Because, in such case, thou didst not so promise me, when I set out from Iceland, with thee from the homestead of my father." Bjarni answered, "I do not, however, see here any other plan. But what plan dost thou suggest?" He replied, "I propose this plan, that we two make a change in our places, and thou come here, and I will go there." Bjarni answered, "So shall it be, and this I see, that thou labourest willingly for life, and that it seems to thee a grievous thing to face death." Then they changed places. The man went into the boat, and Bjarni back into the ship. And it is said that Bjarni perished there in the Worm Sea, and they who were with him in the ship. But the boat and those who were in it went on their journey until they reached land, and told this story afterwards. The next summer, Karlsefni set out for Iceland, and Snorri with him, and went home to his house in Reyniness. His mother considered that he had made a shabby match, and she was not at home the first winter. But when she found that Gudrid was a lady without peer, she went home, and their intercourse was happy, and the daughter of Snorri, Karlsefni's son, was Halfrid, mother of Bishop Thorlak, the son of Ranulf. Halfrid and Ranulf had a son, whose name was Thorbjorn. His daughter was Thorun, mother of Bishop Bjarn. Thorgir was the name of a son of Snorri. Karlsefni's son was a father of Ingvild, the mother of the first Bishop Brand. And here ends the story. Well, that's interesting. Vikings have different ways of telling stories than we do, I think. I guess I learned something. I guess I learned about the discovery of America by the Vikings. And then they left, because apparently it wasn't very friendly. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked it.